Many of you have set some sort of New Year resolution this year. Potentially a wise group, not that many hands have gone up. How many of you have decided somewhere along the line that you're going to make a change and you do it for a while and then something happens, a bad day happens, it rains, it snows, or it's sunny, whatever. But something happens that throws you off your intention for a day or two, and then you're done. Or how many, like me, have been insistent that I'm going to go swimming every day. So I go and I swim for maybe 6 laps, and then I think, after a few days, I can do more. So I could do 8, or I could do 10, or whatever the number is. But now it's taking up more time. And then all of a sudden it becomes too much of a burden. And so rather than going back to just swimming 6 laps, you're like, I'm not going to the pool at all. I don't have time. Any of you had that kind of experience of, this feels great, I'm all in, I'm going to do more, and then it gets too much? Welcome to having a heartbeat. Change is not something that's easy for us to drive. But as the song says, change is always happening. Look at the stars. They may appear still in the sky. Look at the planets, they're always moving. Look at us, we're always moving. Look at the sun, it's spinning, we're spinning. It's not really the sun rising, it's us spinning towards the sun. So there is an inherent movement of change in our lives. And thankfully, not all of that is up to us. If it were up to us, though, sometimes it's what we would want. Like, none of us really wants to get more, what was it my hairstylist said? More snow on the roof. More snow on the roof. Nobody really wants to have more snow on the roof. Nobody really wants to have more achy joints and all that stuff. I mean, if we had a choice, there are some things in our lives that we would choose not to change. Like 26 years old was a great age. So there are things that aren't in our power to change, but there is plenty that is. The problem is when we decide that we're going to make a change, it's not always that easy to do. If you ever found yourself promising yourself that you're going to do it differently next time, and then you find yourself doing exactly what you have done before, then I'm only partially joking when I say, welcome to having a heartbeat. Because it's not that easy to break our patterns. And I'll share with you this really fun, cryptic message from the book of Romans. Now, it refers to the word sin. Now, when you think of sin, think of missing the mark, like wanting to do something and then misjudging it somehow, not quite accomplishing it the way you want. And then listen to this. I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate, I do. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but sin living in me that does it. I don't know how many do's there are in there, but I feel like dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. The devil made me do it. this very cryptic passage from the book of Romans, let me find it, Romans 7, beginning at verse 15, is a really interesting one, because basically what it's saying is there are times when I want to do something and find myself reverting to the patterns I promised myself I wouldn't do. So, hey, what we're experiencing now is exactly what humanity has been experiencing all along. It's part of who we are, to have patterns of behavior. Statistics show that 80% of the people who make resolutions give up within 3 months. So we're ahead of the game because we know better than to make resolutions. Woohoo! It can be difficult. And I don't know how many people right now in January are buying gym memberships that will not be used by the end of February. And it's just predictable behavior. So what do we do when we want to make a change? Well, Jesus gives us a hint about what to expect when we're expecting change. He does it, as he often does, in very few words that can in themselves become an entire book. In 30 words or fewer. From the book of Matthew, he says, "No one sews a piece of unshrunk new cloth onto an old cloak, for the patch pulls away from the cloak, and a worse tear is made. No one takes an immature patch and puts it onto a mature cloth, because the two will work against each other, and a worse tear will be made." Well, there are so many ways that one can take this reading. I see it as a metaphor for change. And the patch, then, is this new shiny thing that we decide that we want to implement. It may be an idea. It may be something that is a belief. It may be a habit that we decide that, we're not going to eat chocolate anymore. Or eat more vegetable, whatever it might be. Be less impatient, be more, be less. Eat more, eat less. The patch is this new thing. And it can be directed at ourselves, like I said, like things like I would like to do more of. But it can also actually be a metaphor for any change anywhere, including being the new person in a group. The patch comes in and is now trying to attach itself and integrate into this coat, this cloak, where things are pretty comfortable. Now, why do we use a patch? Sometimes it's to fix a hole. Sometimes it's just because it's kind of interesting, just to add something that has a little bit more pop of color. So newness happens either to repair something or just because people are looking for something different. The cloak represents the known. It represents the status quo, if you will. It's how we dress ourselves emotionally, physically, how we show up. In our ideas, it would be our existing set of beliefs, and now we want to put a new one. Or it could be our old way of doing things, and now we're trying to integrate something new. The cloak is what we're comfortable with. It may be a little threadbare, it may be a little worn, but we all know what it feels like to have a comfy, if threadbare, cloak. It's comfortable. We know what it is. Now in comes this new thing, this new idea. What do we do? What's interesting is Jesus thinks that it's self-evident that no one puts a new patch on an old cloak. The actual words that we're told is, no one puts new patch on an old cloak. Well, this is one of the few times that I got to be differing with my Jesus. Because I think we do it all the time. That we add something new that isn't matured enough. The idea isn't rounded out enough and stretched enough to integrate into our existing framework. We apply unshrunk patches all the time. So, if that's true, then what can we do? Well, what can we expect when we're expecting change? Well, let's take it from the point of view of the cloak, of what can we do on, it's a two-sided equation. We work in interaction with each other. Let's take a look at the existing frayed, perhaps, but comfy, cozy cloak. What can we expect? The first thing that we need to know is change is always going to include tension. So let's not be surprised by tension. And what do we do then? We stretch the old. Your existing cloak, your existing framework is already established. Your time is already filled, your habits have already been set. The family group or the work group, even if it has some irritating people in it, you know who they are, and it's pretty much established. It will take some intention and attention then to stretch so that you are ready to integrate something new into your life. It means also that you need to be prepared for tension within yourself and within the group. Expect tension, expect tension. Think of it. If it was an idea that you're trying to change, then there are going to be parts of you that are going to be resistant to that. There's going to be parts that are going to be like, ooh, that sounds like fun. This is good for us. And there's going to be other parts that are like, oh, too much time, too much money, too much. So don't be surprised at that pushback. Don't be surprised when you feel that when your son or daughter comes home with a person that you don't really appreciate, or any of those things. Expect tension. And then notice your tendency to want to go back to the way it was and give up. Throw it out. So if you're part of the old and you see something new happening, if it's in a workplace or a group, expect tension and do what you can to stretch your comfort level a little so that you can make a connection to this new person or this new rule or some edict coming down from head office. Be willing to stretch and don't be surprised at the tension. Expect it. What about if you are the new? Then here again, anticipating, wise tailors will anticipate tension. Now you've got to pre-shrink that idea. Or you've got to pre-shrink your behavior as the new person in the group. You've got to find ways to anticipate the tension and make allowance for it so that you are also maturing this new idea. First thing is, notice the tendency we have to be all-consuming. To be like, oh, this is so much fun, I'm all in. Leaving behind your family and friends going, what just happened? Immature behavior, not sustainable. At some point, they're going to push back because they're the old patch going, what just happened? So first thing is watch the all or nothing tendency. Instead, aim to sustain. That means small steps, little micro steps that will touch the old and make lovely connections, seamless connections. Also, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Voltaire. What that means is, don't wait. Our tendency sometimes is, I'm going to start that yoga class, but I'm going to make sure that I have the right pants, the right top, the right blah, 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 blah. And until I have that, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to start. Try to watch yourself doing that and don't wait. Instead, don't let the perfect stop you from just touching the good. And with that comes with perfection for yourself. Don't expect perfection for yourself. None of us learn to walk in a day. None of us learn to walk without stumbling. None of us learn to ride a bike without falling once or twice, or in my case, never learned to ride a bike because I didn't like falling. So I did exactly what I'm telling you not to do here. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And finally, with that, when you're the new, whether it's something new that you're trying to integrate, or whether you're the new person in this group of established, comfy, cozy cloak, workplace, family, relationship, whatever it is, think slow and steady, winning the race. So you may come in, and this, you may be familiar with this in a workplace or family environment, where somebody comes in and they have brilliant ideas. But if they come in too strong to a group that's already established, what happens? Pushback from this group, and this person's going, what, why? It can completely shift the garment, the fabric. Wisdom is, yes, we've got someone new coming in, let's expect some tension here and be stretching to touch them. Wisdom, though, also is, I'm the new person, I'm going to tread lightly until I'm part of the garment. That same thing happens with our habits and our thoughts. We're going to tread lightly, slow and steady, so that we can actually make a connection that fits into our existing framework. Swimming, 6 lanes, 3 times a week, as opposed to swimming 15 lanes, 7, 8 days a week, and then finding that it's not sustainable. And that's the last part of this, which is, don't let a worse tear be made. What happens when we integrate something and it doesn't work? We try and it doesn't work. Is that we end up pulling on ourselves, pulling on the relationship, pulling on the workplace so much that we actually can do more harm than if we had done nothing at all. And we see this in our everyday lives. How many of us have gone on a diet, and after the diet we think we're great, and a month or 2 goes by, and then we put on not just the amount of weight that we lost, but more. A worse tear is made. How does this happen? Well, I have a couple of ideas. One is, just by the very definition of the word resolution, or I'm going to do, a perfect swimming, or perfect yoga, or perfect eating, or I'm never having chocolate again, whatever those things may be. By their very definition, what we're saying is that what we're doing is not good. The word resolution implies that we resolve something, that we successfully bring something to a close. The word definition of it is a firm decision to do or not to do something. Well, that's a pretty high bar, isn't it? What if instead of, I will never do this again, we're a little kinder to ourselves and just move in the direction of what we would like to see more of in our life? With a little bit more grace, with a little bit more self-compassion, with a little bit more love. This beating up on ourselves because we need to get this out of our life is exhausting. We compare ourselves to this perfect image of how things should be, and when we find ourselves lacking, and we will, because it's just a made-up magazine picture, photoshopped and all, compare and despair. So instead of compare and despair, you're going to love this. Instead of compare and despair, handle with care. Aww, I made that up. When we're making changes, expect tension. When we see change happening, expect tension. If we're on the side of the old, let's do what we can to stretch so that we can accommodate the new. In our outer world, that might be the new person, the new relationship. In our inner world, it may be allowing a little bit of space for new habits to come in and new beliefs to kind of take hold gently, if we're the patch, we're the new. In our outer world, let's show up gently, curious rather than strong. Little steps. When we're implementing new habits or new beliefs and new things that we want to change when it comes to how we respond to things. Gently, gently, slow and steady, and let's not expect perfection. Instead, let's expect tension, and rather than compare and despair, handle both sides with care. That way we don't make a new tear, we make a glorious, beautiful, colorful, vibrant, new cloak, new framework, new life. That's what to expect when you're expecting change. I bless you.